take on the world. We're gonna take on the world. Standing up tall, we gotta make it our own. No waiting around. Winners would never look down. No one can stop us, we got it. The future is right in our hands. Give it 100%. We gonna take on the world. Yeah, we gotta move. Speaking the truth. Yeah, paying our dues. We making the news. Yeah, we hitting the roof. No, we don't wanna lose. Climbing and shaking the walls. We gotta break all the rules. We're gonna take on the world. 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 Feeling the kid.
Hi everyone, my name is Nilesh Mathur. I'm one of the co-founders of SaasTribe. And today we have with us the founder of React Bricks, Matteo Frana. So we're going to learn what React Bricks is all about and how it differentiates from some of the other traditional CMS. And we're also going to get an overview from Matteo on React Bricks. So it's a very niche product. It's very unique. There is nothing like it which I've seen specifically on AppSumo. And actually, it's quite unique in terms of CMS itself as well. So without any further ado, please welcome Matteo Frana, the founder of React Bricks. Hi, Matteo. How are you doing today?
Hi everybody. Fine, thank you. It's great. And you?
Excellent, excellent. I'm so glad you're here, and thanks for taking the time to doing this live stream and going over your platform. Matteo, you are based in Italy?
Yes, Italy, in Bergamo, near Milan.
Excellent, excellent. And let's start with why React Bricks. How did you come about the idea, and what made you develop it as a platform, as a SaaS solution?
Yes. Well, it all began in 2019, around the end of 2019, because, well, we are an agency developing web applications and sometimes also websites for our customers. And, well, we wanted to not use WordPress anymore, but have something else. So we were using WordPress as a headless CMS together with Gatsby as the front end, but we wanted to have something more modern. So we looked at headless CMSs on one way, because all the developers are excited by these headless CMSs. Well, we saw that they are really great for developers, but they are not great for content editors, because the editors are faced with gray forms, and so it's not a very inspiring way of editing content. And you lose also the concept of page, because it's a sort of editing database entities. And so WordPress was much more intuitive from this point of view. And well, on the other side, we saw the rise of the so-called no-code tools like Wix or Webflow. And well, in some way, they are great for editors. Let's think of Wix, for example. It's very easy, but it's not great for developers, because well, you cannot customize it as you would like. You have to choose a template and go with it. So it's not ready for a corporate to have your pixel perfect corporate image. And the tools that are more complex, like Webflow, are a bit more flexible, but really, when your editors learn how to tweak things, then they can break the design system, because they can do whatever they want. They can change padding and margins and font size, which is something that the content editor should not do. So I wanted to have something that was great for all the actors that are involved in a content management system. So for the content editors, for the developers and the designers, and of course the end users of the website. And well, for the content editors, I think that the best thing is to have something which is very easy, that doesn't require much time to learn. And so the visual editing, I think it's the best thing. People is used to Word or Pages, where you just point and click and edit. And so I wanted something like that. So easy as Wix, but that was also flexible for developers. And well, while there are tools like Webflow that tend to be flexible for developers, I think that the total flexibility for developers is code. So we cannot have a single interface that is great for both editors and also developer. I think that for developers, the best thing is to have code. And since we love React, we made React Bricks, where you define content blocks in React code. So then if we think of designers, for designers, the best thing is to have to be able to have the pixel perfect corporate image on one side, and be sure that nobody will ever break the design. So we should set good constraints, so that editors are free to edit, but only to the extent that we decide that can be changed in the interface without breaking the corporate design system. And so putting all these things together, and also for the end users, we wanted to have a very performant website. And so we wanted to be able to use all the latest technologies like Next.js, Gatsby, or Remix. And so not a monolithic, of course, not a monolithic CMS, but something that could exploit, that could leverage all the modern front-end technologies. Putting this all together, I thought that we needed blocks that mapped to the design system for designers, and these blocks map very well to React components. And the React components have props, which are great to define the interface and define what is changeable and what is not changeable. And so to this, we added the visual editing magic, so that in your JSX, let's say in the HTML of the React component, you can use our visual editing component, so text, rich text, image, repeater, file, etc. And when you use these components, your React component become visually editable, so that for the things that are visually editable, let's think of texts, images, you can just point, click, edit, save. If you need to adjust something, let's say that you can change the background color, you are allowed to use 2 background colors, let's say white or yellow, then you can reach out for a sidebar control, because in your React component, you also add a schema property, which defines, among many other things, defines also the mapping from sidebar controls to your component props, so that you can choose to have, like you do in Storyblok with the knobs, you can choose that you want a select which has some options, and then you, of course, this the value of this select becomes a prop of your React component, and you can conditionally render based on this prop. And so, well, in 2020 we had then the first lockdown in Italy, and we had a bit more time to work on this project, because we had a bit less of work for our customers. And so the first MVP of React Bricks was created, and excellent. I liked the MVP, and so with my colleague Dario, we created also the backend, and it became a real software as a service. So React Bricks is 2 things: is a library that you use to create your visually editable content blocks, and it is a software as a service, APIs which store the content on our servers. So this is essentially what React Bricks is. So the difference with the headless is that it's great for both developers and also for the content editors. Of course, it requires some code. So when you said that it's a niche product, well, it's not the no-code tool that everybody can take off the shelf and start using. It's true that we have some pre-made bricks, pre-made content blocks that you can use to start playing with React Bricks. They are good. We are creating more and more of these blocks, but the real advantage of React Bricks is to be able to change these blocks, maybe use them as a reference, but in the end you will delete all of our pre-made bricks and create your own blocks with your own corporate image. And so you need a React developer that could create your design system in React code for you in some way. But you can also start from the pre-made blocks, for example.
Yes.
That's if I think of a startup, a small startup could start creating the landing page using our pre-made blocks, and they know that in the future they could have a React developer tweak this block and add new blocks using the React code. So it's something that you can build on with time.
Yes, for sure. And thanks for giving a really good overview of what it does. We have a lot of folks joining, and I'm sure there will be a lot of questions. But let me just acknowledge a few folks who have joined. And thanks, guys, for joining in and tuning into this live stream. So we have Virinder Sunkara is saying hello. Hi, Virinder. Aditya Sharma is here. Ranveer Mehta, Pamela Lai, Laksha. We have BL Samota, Ruhani Rabin is here. We have Jason Blake. And then we have Jean Delcano. Jean is saying, hey, Nilesh, was this supposed to be last July 29th? Yes, Jean, we had scheduled it for July 29th, but unfortunately, Matteo came down with COVID. And so we had to postpone it. And I hope, Matteo, now you're in good shape. I think you've recovered fully because you had some issues with your voice and you're worried about it a little bit, right? So we did reschedule it from July 29th. But thanks, Jean, for asking the question and joining in. Ahmedi is here. Alberto Oliveira is here. Hi, Alberto. Sam Jesani and Bagri. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. And so going back, Matteo, to to React Bricks. So, like, would you have like a community in future where people can contribute their components and you can add them in future into React Bricks for everybody to use?
Yes, yes. We have a company right now in our Discord server, but what we will create very soon is the marketplace. And
Okay.
the marketplace is exactly where people can contribute and create their sets of bricks, and they could be offered for free, but we'd like also to have the ability to sell sets of bricks in the marketplace so that developers can contribute, create a pre-made design system with of React Bricks components and sell them on our marketplace, so that who want to start from something which is ready or maybe is very similar to their end result can just start from a pre-made design system and tweak the CSS of what they need to tweak to make it compatible with their corporate image. So yes.
Okay. And for those folks who are wondering, React Bricks is currently available on AppSumo. So do check out Matteo's lifetime deal for React Bricks on AppSumo. And it has pretty generous plans. I think there were some questions around the plans itself. So there are certain limits in terms of APIs, but this has to be self-hosted, right? Like it will still connect to your API, but anyone can host it on Vercel, Netlify, or
Yes. We host the APIs where the content is stored, but then during the build process, a static website, or maybe you can use also server-side rendering. But anyway, the front end is hosted by you wherever you want. So Vercel, Netlify, AWS, on-premise, where you want. So you just need a Node.js compatible environment for the build process, which requires Node.js. When the site is built, if you're using static generation, it can be served from any CDN because it's really just a static website. So yes, you host it wherever you want. We don't host the front ends, we just host our APIs.
Okay, so there are some questions here. Ruhani is asking, do we need to implement npx CLI before start using?
Yes. At the moment, yes. As I said, React Bricks is a tool for developers. So it starts from the CLI. It is a choice in this moment because it's not a no-code tool. To fully use it, you need to know React code, and so in some way, if you are React developers, you are used to the CLI to start a new application, because if you use Create React App or Next.js, anyway, you start from the CLI. And so it's npx create React Bricks app at the latest, and you just start in this way. So you just need an account. You register for a free account. You start the CLI. It will ask you to authenticate, and then you just choose an existing app or choose to create a new app, and you choose the framework, so Next.js or Gatsby or Remix, and you get an app which is already scaffolded for you with the .env file correct to communicate with our APIs for that app. And so you are really up and running in about 1 minute once you have a free account. So I see that they ask for a demo.
Yes. So Aditya Sharma is saying, would like to see demo sites built on the platform if possible. Maybe Matteo could leave some demo site links in the comment. Would be super. Thanks. So yes, we can definitely leave some demo sites in the comment. We are also going to talk, Aditya, about some of the existing customers of React Bricks and how they are using it. If there are any developers around on React, so they need to watch this one closely, because there is a lot of opportunity here in terms of So it's like giving people the ability to build their own site builder.
Yes. Well, we have. I was writing some URL from my memory.
Yeah.
So well, we have at the moment we have 3,700 users of
Yeah.
React Bricks.
Wow.
And as for the paid customers, they are mostly tech startups, like, for example, Capbase, with a US, quite a big US startup. Then Casavo is a very big Italian startup, is the most funded startup of last year. And they just closed a round of $400 million. And it is a startup in the real estate sector. Then we have Woozmap, who are a startup in the maps sector. Then we have, and Everfund is a UK startup. Then we have agencies like Neuscope, which is a German agency.
Yes.
So we have Mirahi now, who is starting using React Bricks for some of their
Matteo,
projects.
do you want to share your screen and we can continue the conversation while looking at some of these customers
Sure.
as well, right?
Sure. Okay. I share my screen.
Yes.
You see my
Yes.
screen?
Yes, I do see your screen. Yes.
So, for example, this is a website called created with React Bricks. It's Capbase. They have a software for startups for incorporation, contracts, cap management, etc. Then I show you the Casavo website. We have more than 400 pages, especially in the blog section. Then they have the website in Italian, in Spanish, and Portuguese. And then I show you Woozmap.
And you can use it pretty much with, like, currently you're supporting Next.js, Gatsby, and Remix, correct?
Yes. And well, it really anything that works with React. So
Yes.
main of our customer, I see that many of them use Next.js. But for example, Capbase created a custom solution with server-side rendering, not using neither Gatsby nor Next.js. But so it's really, if it works with React, it works with React Bricks. So this is the website of Woozmap, and then I can show you the fund example. Okay, this is another website created with React Bricks. So you see, every website is different, but because they all created their own bricks, sometimes starting from our bricks, our pre-made bricks. I know for sure that Everfund, for example, some of these bricks, I see that they are similar to the one that we have, as you will see in a moment, this logo brick or this hero unit here, or also this text image with features is something that maybe they adapted from our pre-made bricks, but they are completely customized to match their corporate image. And now there is the US University Gallaudet, who is starting a very big project with React Bricks. And then we have Mirahi, as I told you, we have many projects that they want to start using React Bricks. And lately, it's very interested also the weather channel. So we start having enterprise user who are interested in using React Bricks.
So are there
well, maybe
people who
if
are
it's
building
okay,
their own
yes.
products? Oh, sorry. Go on.
Sorry.
No worries.
So,
you go first.
okay. Well, maybe I can show you a demo of React Bricks so that
Yes.
we get an idea of how it works.
Let's do that.
It's okay.
Let's do that. There are quite a few comments as well, but yes,
Okay.
please go ahead. Let's get started, and then let the keep the questions coming, folks, so we can
Perfect.
give Matteo to some time to address the questions as well. Yeah.
Okay, when you want, when there are a bit of question, feel free to stop me and so that I can answer.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so here, this is an example of a website created with React Bricks and in particular using the pre-made blocks. And now I can click on edit content. Of course, this button will not be there in your website, but it's just an easy way to reach the admin interface. And by the way, the admin interface lives on your website, so you host the admin interface together with the website. You see that now it is in this /admin folder. Of course, you can change this folder to whatever you want, but the admin interface is inside of your project. And this is what makes the magic possible. So I can really edit over the content here as if I were in Word or Pages. So let's say, welcome. And I can change the gradient to ocean, for example. I can click here, change the color. Okay, and let's save. And well, you see that really I can work on the content, and this is exactly what I will see in the website. How does it work? Well, the admin interface knows your React component. We on our APIs don't know how are your React component. We don't see your code. We just save the JSON content with the props of each content block. But the admin interface, which is in your project, as we'll see in a moment with the code, can import the same design system, the same set of content block created with React components that are imported by the front end, and this make it possible to see the same that you will see on the front end. So if I do a full screen preview, you will see exactly the page in the read-only mode as it will be on the website, but really it is the same thing that you see when you are editing over it. And so, as I said, you just edit as if I were in Word or Pages. You can apply styles. Here you see that I can just apply bold and link because I decided this in this brick. But you can decide to have headings. You can have order list, unordered list, anything, and you can provide your own render functions for everything. So in a moment, we will see a custom brick, and I will show you that when the user select bold, if you want the text to be pink, we can do it because it's just a React render function.
Yes.
If I want to change something that is not directly editable, so it's essentially it is not a text or an image, I can reach out for the sidebar where I can, for example, change the title size. I can change the gradient as we saw. I can change the background color. But anything that you see here on the right sidebar is defined in code by this component. So this component in the schema defines what are the properties that can be changed using sidebar controls and which controls map to which React props. So that it's very easy to build these content bricks, these content blocks
Yes.
with the visually editable component in the JSX and props that you want to receive from the sidebar controls. By the way, the sidebar control has some predefined controls like the color picker, select, radio, range, text area, etc. But you can also provide your own custom components. So let's say that here you want a small map to let the user pick latitude and longitude. We don't have it in the default components. You can build your own components. It's just a simple value on change interface, and you can provide your own controls also for the sidebar. So let's see what happens when I want to add a new brick. So let's add a new block here. You see that What you have here are all the predefined brick in React Bricks UI, which is an open source project. You can see the code of any of these brick. As I hover, you see a preview so that you know what you are adding. And there are bricks for a website, and then there are the blog bricks, which are more for a blog website. Okay. So let's add, for example, a text image brick. This is the default content that I can change. If I click on an image, I can upload an image from my computer. So let's add this seaside image. I can crop it. And in code, you can also decide that you want a certain aspect ratio. So if here I want just a square, I can define in code for the image component that I want an aspect ratio of 1. So I can provide an alternate text and a SEO-friendly name. Now the image has been uploaded to our servers.
Yeah.
A WebP version has been created by React Bricks servers. Yes. And so we have the code with a WebP and a fallback to a JPEG in this case. If I uploaded something with transparency, the React Bricks servers will create a PNG as a fallback to preserve the transparency. If you upload, for example, a WebP with an animation, we create an animated GIF as a fallback. So without the need to use anything external, so Cloudinary, ImageX, or something like that, you just need the React Bricks. When you upload an image, we create the WebP with the fallback, and we create all the responsive version of the image that you can also direct, which I will show you in the code. And
so you provide your own CDN?
There is, well, yes, the CDN is not our really, but we use a global CDN, which is a key CDN, but you have already a blur up image created for you with the lazy load. If lazy load is supported, the native lazy load of the browser, we leverage the native lazy load. Otherwise, we provide our mechanism to have a blur up placeholder which gets it gets swapped with the true image when the image comes into the viewport, and the images are all served from a global CDN. So you don't have to manage all of these. You get best-in-class image optimization out of the box.
Okay, because there's a comment here which Ruhani made. Let me see if I can change the color of it. Let me see. Okay, so Ruhani is saying, first thing I noticed, all the React Bricks sites are fast because React rendering is much optimized. And there is another question here around how do you advise SEO optimization with your platform?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, React Bricks websites are fast mainly because the server-side rendering or static generation techniques now by default give you a website which has a great performance. So if you are using Next.js or Gatsby or Remix hosting on the edge or with a hosting platform like Vercel or Netlify, you have a website which has great performance. If you have also the image optimization that we do, and by the way, our image optimization is cross-platform. So if you want to change from, let's say, Next.js to Gatsby tomorrow, it's really very easy because you just create a new project from the CLI, you point it to the same app, and then you just take the React Bricks folder from the Next.js project, you copy it into the Gatsby project, and you're up and running with the Gatsby project with the same content and the same bricks, because you are using the image from React Bricks, not the image from Gatsby, which is different from the image of Next.js. So it's very easy to switch framework or to test also the performance of the same site on other platforms, because the switch is really it's really fast using React Bricks. As
Very
for
cool.
the SEO, yes, as for the SEO optimization, well, I show you the page tab here. You see that when you are give the focus to a block, you have this block interface to change the props of this block, and then I show you that you can have also bricks inside of bricks. But then there is this page tab here with the properties of the page. In particular, you can choose if it is published, if it is draft. Of course, it will not be part of the statically generated website in that case. You can also schedule the content to be published in the future. So, for example, I can say that it is draft and they want to schedule the publishing for tomorrow at 8 a.m. If I save, now you see that there is this icon here because this page is scheduled for publishing for tomorrow. And there is also this editorial calendar, which is very handy, where you can see that tomorrow I will have the home page scheduled for publishing. When you have a blog or a website with hundreds of articles scheduled in the future, it's very handy to have this editorial calendar.
Yes.
And here in this page, let's publish it again. Sorry. Okay. And so here you have also all the page attributes. So the slug, the author, you have all the SEO meta tags, so title, description, and the language. Of course, maybe if you want to do something more complex, for example, you want to use JSON LD, you can do everything you want using the custom fields. Because in React Bricks, you can define multiple page types. Now I have just one page type, which is page. Then I will show you in code how we can create another page type. And on a page type, for example, product, you can also define your custom fields, which have an interface which is like the props. So you can choose to have a text, a select, etc. And you can use them on the front end to render all the meta that you need. So you can fetch these custom fields for JSON LD and use it in your Next.js project, for example, in a head component to set all the meta that you want on the page. So by default, you have the usual title description, but then you can add whatever you want using the custom fields. The feature image can be used, of course, to have the open graph image, but also for this, if you can do whatever you want. You can have a custom fields of type image, etc. So everything that you can do to optimize SEO on a normal website, you can do it also using React Bricks. So I'd like to show you that there are also bricks inside of bricks. So for example, here you see that there is this add a new, and I can add a new badge, a new feature, a new button, a new logo if I choose to have multiple images instead of just one. In this case, let me add 2 features. You see that 2 features appear here, and if I click on them, now I have this item tab because this is a sub item, so it is a brick inside of a brick. It is a brick of type list item, and I can choose the prop for this item, and I can write whatever I want. And I can go here and write whatever I want, and change the. So also these buttons here are bricks inside of bricks, where you have the prop of this one, and so it's really very flexible. It's the same here when you have these logos. And so I'd like to show you also the stories.
Yes.
Stories are a way
yes, please continue.
to save. Sorry?
No, I think there is a little bit of a delay. Yes, please continue, Matteo. Yes.
Okay, sorry. So stories are a way to save the content, to reuse it in another place or another page. So for example, let's say that I like this brick here, and they want to save this story as SaasTribe. I save the story. Then if I go to another page, and here I want to add another hero unit, now I can go to the stories and choose this SaasTribe story. So you see that as I hover it, I see the preview, and I can apply it, and now I have the same story that there is here. At the moment, oh, I didn't save. At the moment, this feature is just a cookie cutter, so you can reuse a block, but then when you change it, it doesn't change back. We are now creating also the symbols feature, so that you will be able to have stories that are just cookie cutter and stories that instead are single source of truth, so that when you change it in one part of the website, it gets propagated to all the website that uses that symbol. Okay, and well, then another thing that I'd like to show you is that you can preview the content.
Matteo, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yes,
a little bit.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So there are a few questions around the LTD plans. Each of them only can contain one domain deployment. What I meant is one app is equal to one domain is the question.
Well, the plans are bound to one website, so one app, one website, but not limited to one domain, because remember that we don't host the website. So when you have an app has the pages, so you have one website with its pages, and this is one plan. But then when you deploy it, let's say on Vercel, you can of course add any number of domain names pointing to this website. We do not know anything of your deployed solution, and we do not track page views, for example. There are other solutions that have a little let's say telemetry, so they have their pixel in the front-end website to track the number of page views, and they use the page views to in their list price as a meter for pricing. We do not anything of this, so we don't know where you host the website. We don't know how many domain name you bind to your website. So it's not one plan, one domain. It's one plan, one website.
Okay, Ruani, thanks for the question. I hope that clarifies a few things. And then there is a follow-up comment. This is only for pages, or there is a block content part? So I think there is a block content part which are similar, like blocks, which Matteo just shared. But
yes, yes. There is a set of blocks which is made in particular for blogs, and when you start with the CLI, and you can choose a project which is a website and blog with Tailwind. In particular, if you use Tailwind as a CSS framework, we created all the pre-made blocks using Tailwind because we really like Tailwind. So by the way, React Bricks works with any CSS framework, but the pre-made content blocks are done with Tailwind. So when you choose this project, which is a website and a blog with Tailwind, you will see that you have some pages, so the home page, the About Us page, and then you have the blog page, which is a list of blog posts and if you click, you reach the blog post detail. And there we use our pre-made blog bricks. So even here, I have these blog blocks that I can use. So the big title, the big paragraph, a quote, an image. So what you do on typically on blog platform. There is a code editor. So the tweet and TweetLite. TweetLite doesn't use the Twitter APIs, so it's much faster. It is not the JavaScript payload that you have when you embed the Twitter JavaScript. And so, well, if, for example, if I add this code block here, I can directly write some code. So you see that I get the code and it is colored. So it's ready for a tech blog in this case, for example. And I'd like to show you that you can preview the content and different resolutions. You can define these in your code. So if you want a particular resolution that your editor can preview, you can do it. You can test in dark color mode. So if your blocks are dark color mode compatible, you just provide a function to toggle the dark color mode, and you can also apply a special class. For example, with Tailwind, you need to apply the dark class to a parent of the content, and so you can specify it in React Bricks. You can get a preview link of a page. So for example, this page is not published, it's in draft, but I need approval. I can get a preview link. I can send this link by email so that anyone who has these links can preview the content of the page. Okay, so now I'd like to tell you that there is a feature that we just released this morning in version 3.4, which is the collaboration. So I'm proud to announce that from today, React Bricks has also the collaboration feature. So now I ask my colleague here, Cecilia, if she can enter the website so that I can show you a bit how. Okay, now you see that there is also the avatar of Cecilia.
Yeah.
Here, okay, and she's on my page. So if I go to another page, I see just myself, and then when I go to home, we see that Cecilia is editing this page. Now you see that the page is locked by Cecilia. So she's editing this page. If I try to click, I cannot click because now the page is locked by Cecilia. And so that we don't, okay. And now you see that she saved and we see the content updated with the title, which is now orange. And very so, cool. Well, and now it is not locked because she saved, and now she took the lock again. So she's changing something, and maybe she changed the logo. Can you add a new logo, please? Okay, thank you. So now she will add a new logo here. Let me so that we and when I am in this mode, so that it is read only because the page is locked. Yes. But when she saved, okay, now she saved with this React logo, and so she released the lock. And so you have this collaboration feature, which is very new, but it's very useful when you have some people working on the same content. Now, I show you one thing. She locked the page. Let's say that maybe I need to do something which is very urgent. The page is locked. I cannot contact her. If I really need to take control to do a change, I can force unlock. So I take the control. And then now I can change whatever I want and save. So you see that when I start changing something, my avatar has this pink border because I am taking control. And so when I save, I release the page so that someone else can edit. This is important because before this feature, it was the last save wins. So when you had more editors on the same page, it was a bit difficult to collaborate. And now we have this feature that I'm proud to show the first time here.
Yeah, for bigger teams, it's certainly handy, right? I mean, in terms of when you have multiple people trying to edit the same page. Yes. It is good too. There's a lot of questions and comments. I think Peter has a comment here. Would be cool if we could use with WordPress, like for a very simple editor for clients that can give them access to, if I understand the tool just a little bit correctly.
Well, it would be cool, but the only thing is that this works with React. So anyway, it cannot work as a PHP plugin for WordPress as a monolithic solution. What you can do is, if you want to keep WordPress, well, if you edit using React Bricks, you don't need WordPress because the backend is really React Bricks. If you have some data that you want to keep using using WordPress as a headless CMS, there is the possibility to use external data inside of our bricks. So you can also take some data from WordPress. If you want to have, for example, this list from WordPress, there is a way when you define the page type to have a get external data function that returns a promise that resolves to an object. And then on the bricks, you can map these external data to your props. So for complex environment where maybe the customer has already many contents in Contentful, for example, and they want to start using React Bricks, but they cannot abandon completely Contentful. They can use the existing content inside of React Bricks. So in some way, it's possible to have content from an external headless CMS, and so also WordPress as a headless CMS, but it is not a plugin for WordPress. So you just need to have a React based project. And well, I think that I can show you some code after. There is any other questions?
Yes, there is a few.
Okay.
There is a question here from BL Samota. He's saying, does this come with any templates, or does a user have to start from scratch with a blank canvas? So these are the templates. There are ready-made blocks which you can use to build basically a site, but I'm not sure, Bill. So if you ask this, so it's a recent question actually. Does this come with? So are there any like full site templates as well? No, right? Like a user will have to build pages from blocks.
No, we do not have templates, but this is because I believe that React Bricks is really powerful when you want to write your own content blocks that match your corporate identity. So you write your own React code. This is the power of React Bricks, because we don't want to be another Wix.
Yes.
Wix works very well if you just need a template and you're good with these templates and you can work and really it does its job. We don't want to be another Wix. And with React Bricks, you need to write some React code to do whatever you want. Really, if you are good with these bricks, you have all of these bricks that are pre-made. They are open source. You can start from them, change to whatever you want. But really, it is made to be made yours. So you need to take the code and make it yours, so that it express its power. And well, with the marketplace, we are already creating a new set of many bricks that can be an inspiration and can be a starting point. So really, for startups to set up a landing page quickly, you could use a React Bricks instead of Wix, but the advantage here is that you know that in the future you will be able to change everything that you want. When you have a Wix website, it stays there as it is. With React Bricks, you can start with our pre-made bricks, and you know that when you are able to hire a React developer, you can change everything from and remade everything for scratch, preserving the content that you already wrote. So this is the unique selling proposition of React Bricks. And
can people build a product based off of React Bricks?
Sorry?
Can people build their own products based off of React Bricks and sell it?
Yes, of course you can, because well, we have some verticals that asked because they wanted to use React Bricks. So for example, let's say that you create your own bricks for let's say the restaurant business.
Yes.
And so then you can sell your solution to restaurants where you have your own bricks made for the menu and all the feature of the restaurant. And of course, you can create your own business in this way. The limitation now is, of course, that you need to have a React Bricks license for every website, and so your customers need to pay you for your platform and us to use our APIs. But well, if you have a big business with many websites, of course, we can evaluate agency discounts and things like that. We are open to reasoning about this sort of things.
Okay, great. So there are a few additional questions here.
Okay.
How is the page speed loading? So Amity, I think we covered it like in terms of page speed, but just maybe briefly talk about it. How does it compare, Matteo, React Bricks, a site built based on React Bricks from a page speed perspective? What do you see typically? What should users expect?
Well, really, you can expect the loading time that you have from an optimized Next.js website. So it's really very quick. You can do your tests. For example, you can take the Everfund website, so that I showed you before. It's a Next.js project, and you can see when you reload that it's immediate, almost immediate. So of course, then the time to first byte is really very quick. Then when you add sort of chat and things like that, these are the things that typically make the time to last byte a bit more long, but you can do not much about this. Of course, when you add more JavaScript, it adds loads, but the pure Next.js website, it's really very quick. You can do your own benchmark, for example, on this website to see the speed of React Bricks Power website. And
okay, Kurt Sig is saying, hey man, hi Kurt, how are you doing? Then we have a few more. Can we have custom adjustment for the blocks or stories for different screen sizes? Example, use H1 on big screen size and H2 for small screen size.
Well, yes, since you create your bricks using React code, of course you can do whatever you want for the responsive view. So let's say our brick already I have some optimization in. So for example, you see that now these columns collapse, the logos here are adjusted, and this is just simple responsive HTML and CSS. So I like to show you how a brick is created in code, so that I think that it's all more clear.
Yes.
Let's add a new brick, which is a custom brick. So it's not a pre-made one, but I go down to this custom hero unit. By the way, you can always search. So let's search for custom hero unit. And I show you the code for this component here. So you see that it is a component with an image, a text, and a rich text where I can use bold, italic, code, and link. So I save and I show you the code for this brick. I open up my code editor. By the way, this is an Next.js project, and I show you just that you have the pages from a Next.js project, and you have also this admin folder. This is where the admin lives. For example, this editor page, when you are in the editor, you see that it just imports the editor from React Bricks with this admin wrapper that is the authentication layer. And you can rename this folder whatever you want, but you are hosting the admin interface together with the website. This is the website that will host wherever you want. If I go to the bricks, you see that here I'm importing the bricks from the open source project React Bricks UI, the website and the blog bricks. And then I am adding this hero unit, which is a custom brick. And here it is. This is the hero unit, custom hero unit that you just saw. Well, it is a React component. It has an image, which is this one. It has a text and a rich text. For the text, you see that you provide this render function, render block, so that you see that it is an h1 tag which some classes from Tailwind applied. So when I write here, really I'm writing this h1 tag here. Then there is the rich text with the allowed feature. So you see bold, italic, code, link. By the way, here I can add whatever I want. So for example, let's add also highlight, and I save, and I reload the page. And here you see that now when I click here, I can apply also the highlight. I click and I have this highlight. If I want to change, for example, how the bold is rendered, I can provide a render bold function, and here it is just React. So it's a React render function. I get the children and I render my bold tag with the children inside, and here I can do whatever I want. For example, I add the class name, which is text pink 500. This again, I'm using Tailwind, but you can use any CSS that you want.
Yes.
And when I go back, now you see that when I apply the bold style, it becomes pink because I provided my own render function for the bold.
Yes.
Then you see that I have this padding, which is big or small. And if I go to the code of this component, below the component, you see that there is the schema, which defines the name, the label that you have when you add a new component of this type. You have the get default props, which is a function that gives the default when a new brick of this type is added. So you see this is a custom hero unit title, and you see it here because this is the default text. And then you have the side edit props. This is where you define the sidebar controls. In this case, I have a side controls of name padding with a label padding. It is of type select with the option which are big and small with a label big padding, small padding. So I have this select, the select that we saw, and then in my React component, I get this padding prop, and I can use it to conditionally render. So if it is big, I have this padding y of 20. If it is small, I have this padding y of 12. So it's just React. You define what prop you want to receive and what is the control type that you want to show. And you see, you can use a Boolean, which of course is a checkbox, date, image, number, range, select text area, relationship, which is because with React Bricks you can also define entities. So in some way, cross-page entities, and you can also define relationship between entities, a bit like a headless CMS. So you can also define this kind of relationship and then fetch by this relationship. But this is a bit complex. Then you can also say custom, and when you use custom, then you can provide your own component. So I can provide my own React component. As I told you, if you want a small map, here you can provide just a functional React component. So let's go back to select. Sorry. Okay. And so this is how it works. You define the sidebar props, and you can also have collapsible groups of props. So you can have directly props, or you can have really groups of props. So I can say group name, test, and then I can say that I have the props of this group name, which is an array of props like this. So I add this prop here. And now if we reload the code, you will see that now the prop padding is inside a test collapsible group. So you can organize your props in collapsible groups. You can also define if by default these groups is open. It's really, really very flexible. So and in the code that I write here for the responsive, of course, I can do whatever I want with the CSS. So I can in particular with Tailwind, you see I have this SM text for Excel. So the text will be 3XL, so smaller, below the SM breaking point, and then it will become bigger. This is what you do with the Tailwind, but of course here you can do whatever you want with your own CSS. So since you write the HTML code in the JSX of your React component, you can do whatever you want. It's just React. If you can create a responsive website with React, you can create a responsive website using React Bricks.
Got it.
Okay.
Excellent.
So I don't know if there are other questions.
There are just a few more. How about the low bandwidth and low bandwidth limits and asset storage? So I think Gene has comment around the bandwidth limit and asset storage. I think that's related to your AppSumo plan.
Okay. Yes, in the AppSumo plans, you have some limits on the storage and the bandwidth. And well, I think that you can understand that we have running costs, of course, as for storage and bandwidth. So this is something that for us is a recurring cost. And so for a lifetime plan, we need in some way to limit the bandwidth and the storage, because if everybody with a lifetime plan can use an unlimited number of resources, this can be a problem for us running the business for the coming year. So our idea is to develop the business to be a business that works. We are a startup, but we are not in the business of grow a startup and sell it tomorrow. We want to create a profitable business for the future. We want to provide a great support to our customers, and so we have to have a business that can run also in the future, or even if it has some lifetime deals. So this is something that we have to do. I'm sorry.
Yes, and we like, I'm a big fan of platforms and products which are well thought out, as well as them being sustainable, right? Like, so the users which have the lifetime license can actually enjoy it for a longer period of time. And I can see that you're going to continue building it. Let's talk a little bit, Matteo, about your team size as well, and how big is your agency business? How big of a team are you? An agency side, do you have a dedicated team for React Bricks only, or the team is sort of like working on the React Bricks project, but you also have agency customers which you work with?
Yes. Well, we are a small team because we are 5 developers, and at the moment, 3 of us are completely dedicated to React Bricks, and we are just keeping a few customers for the custom development work, and now we are looking for 2 other people to add to the React Bricks team. So in particular for the marketing and sales. So we are going to expand the team, and we are going to just keep React Bricks in the long term. This is our dream, because we like to work on our product and not on the product of our customers.
Yes.
So now we will go all in with React Bricks, with Bricks expanding also the team.
And is it fully bootstrapped? Are you taking any funding as you grow?
No. Yeah. Okay. Yes, fully bootstrapped. So we use the agency revenue to be able to build React Bricks, and so we didn't have any external funding. As for the future, I don't know, but for the short term, for sure, we are not looking for funding. So when we will need, we will look for funding. It's not a target for us to close a round of funding. We want to have a business that works. And so if we don't need funding, we don't look for funding.
Okay. Okay. Can I use React Bricks to build a large blog site with 500 plus pages? Yes, Laksha, I don't see why not. I mean, typically, especially if you have a large blog and if you have multiple editors, I think React Bricks would be an ideal platform for you.
Yes, this website has more than 400 pages each in 3 languages. So if I go to the blog, they have more than 400 articles, and they are translated in Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. So they have more than 1,000 articles, and it's all made with React Bricks. So yes.
Matteo, let me ask you, who do you see as, like, from in the CMS world, right? Like who do you see as your competitors? Like, more, would it be like Sanity, Storyblok, or would it be like somebody like Builder.io? Who?
Well, yes, I think that well, Storyblok in a way is a competitor, but well, they have this editing through the sidebar, but really you don't edit directly over the content.
Yes.
There is this sidebar that you use, but it is still in some way a gray forms that just appear in context when you edit the website, but you edit using that gray form. So we have this editing over the content. Then there is Tina CMS, which is based on React. Tina works with Next.js, and they now chose to support at the moment just Next.js. I think they have plans to support other platforms in the future, but even Tina has this as a sidebar to edit all the content. You don't edit directly over the content.
Yes.
With Builder.io, instead, you can really edit, but I think that Builder.io is chasing another type of
Niche.
market, because they tend to be more a no-code tool. So it's it's not a code tool
Yes.
for a corporate which has an IT that can create the components. So maybe you have designers designing it in Figma, you have the developer which develop in React, and then you have the content editor. So I think that they with Builder.io they're more targeting a no-code niche, in my opinion. But then I think that we will see the rise of tools like these. I saw another the other day, which is Make Swift. And well, I think that everybody is taking a different different take, different approach, different ideas. And I think that as we move from headless CMSs to visual editing, I think that there will be space for everybody, and everybody will target is niche. And so I think that other visual tools are welcome, because together we need to make the market do this transition from the gray forms to visual editing, and then there is space for everybody.
Yes.
It's a very big market.
Yes. Can we share or export components and import them on a different website?
Yes, you can do it, but well, you do it externally from React Bricks. This is a thing that many times we think about. Should the bricks, so the code blocks, live in your project, or maybe we should try to sync this code on our servers? And our conclusion is always that it's better that the bricks are in your code, and you can share them easily, because you can just publish all of your bricks on an npm. You can create an npm package, for example, as we did with Bricks UI. You see, these React Bricks UI blocks are reused across all of our starter project, Next.js, Gatsby, etc. And they are from this React Bricks UI npm package. If you don't want your corporate design system to be published on a public npm repo, you can have a private npm repo, or you can host your own npm using something like Verdaccio. So there are tools that allows you to have your private npm. So I think that if you have a set of bricks that you created and they are your design system and you use it for different projects, so your blog, your website, something else, a dashboard, I don't know, well, you can create a private npm package and import from it in all of your project. We don't want to be the repository of your bricks right now, because there are some complexities, for example, for the CSS. Since you can use any CSS, you can have your CSS file, you could have your less or Sass, your own framework, any CSS in JS framework. CSS complicates things, so we don't want to host your bricks. We don't know your code. Your code is just your, and you can share it among your project in the way that you can share code right now. So using, for example, npm.
Okay, there is a question here. Hey, Matteo, reactbricks.com, built with React Bricks. So they're asking if your site is built with React Bricks.
No, I'm sorry, no. And this is for, I'm sorry, we need to do it, but this is for historical reasons. It started before React Bricks was there, and then we modified it many times. And we still didn't port it to React Bricks. So I'm sorry, no, but it could surely be created with React Bricks. It's just that we are lazy. It's just that we dedicate our time to build the library more than our website.
Yes. But I think you should, right? I mean, that would be
yes,
ideal. So it is built in React, but you might as well do it in React.
Yes, we should, because we will receive this question many other times in the future.
Yes. I see the schema is needed for the brick. Question: each component should have a different schema, or multiple bricks can share the same schema?
Yes, you can share the same part of the schema. Well, not the same schema, because, for example, there is a unique name for each brick, and you need a unique name. But let's say, for example, we do it in React Bricks UI, I think. Let's say that you have, for example, this hero unit that has these background colors, and then you have this text image which have the same possible background colors. Yes, if you look at the React Bricks UI code, we do just this. You can have this part of the schema in a module, so that you can import it in different bricks. And this is essentially what we are doing here. So you can have, for example, one prop, and you just take it, you create a module which is, for example, color prop, and then you import this color prop in all of your bricks. And this is a way that you can reuse part of these props that are shared among different bricks.
Okay. So there is also a follow-up question to that. Can we create a new brick by subclassing existing schema?
By
subclassing existing schema. Can they?
Well, really, if you create a new brick, I will copy paste the schema and change what you need to change. I would not use classes and inheritance for these kind of things, even because the React world is going in the direction of using pure functional component and not anymore these classes. So this is really just a property of this function, my hero unit. So I would not use classes dependencies or inheritance, but just copy paste the part that you want to use, or if you need to reuse, create a module with the part that you want to reuse.
Okay, Ruani has a comment. I think for most people, it is a bit of a time-consuming task to configure Node, npm, and npx with Git. Visual Studio, build tools, Chocolatey, and few other components. For example, it is going to be difficult to implement in Windows 10. Mac and Linux should be okay. This is a typical Node.js problem that takes so much time set up the prerequisites. For example, last week started with RB and came to a halt after spending so much time on prerequisites. So, okay, so he's talking about React Bricks. While React Bricks is great, it is still depending on so much prerequisites that does not always work.
Well, you just need to have Node.js, and you need to have Git. Really, it's not so necessary, but it's better, of course. But anyway, if you are creating React code, I think that you have already Git in place, because now every workflow nowadays uses Git in some way, and you push your repository on something like Bitbucket or GitHub. So I think that having Git is something that you need if you develop nowadays. And of course, you need to have Node.js installed, and our CLI works on Mac and also on Windows. We tested it on different Windows versions. Really, it's true that we use all Mac, and so it's more better tested on Macs, and I think that most of our customers maybe are on a Mac machine. But there is nearly nothing that prevents React Bricks to work on Windows. And anytime we release a new version of the CLI, we test it both on Mac and on Windows. So if you try our CLI and you encounter any problem on Windows, I suggest that you write us on our Discord server, and we will figure out what has gone wrong.
Okay. There is a comment here. I checked the page speed using page speed insights and pinged them. The site speed is slow. If you're referring to React Bricks, the website itself, I think, as Matteo mentioned, it is not built on based on React Bricks. So maybe check some other sites which Matteo mentioned, like their reference customers. And see how they perform. But overall, I mean, anything with Next.js should be performing well. And Gatsby.
Yes, I think maybe in our website we don't have all the images very optimized. Maybe, I don't know. It's really, it's something that we need to our website is something that we need to improve because we are really, in this period especially, we are working hard on the library, and our customers are happy with the performance they get from React Bricks. So and they are really also big startups. So I think that if well configured, you will have the same performance that you can have with the Next.js or Gatsby, with any other project. In particular, since these components that you create must work in the front end and also in the admin. And in the admin, of course, there is a big JavaScript bundle that to manage all of these part of editing. We have some tricks to make the front end bundle completely independent from all the admin code, so that your components that have this image text, rich text, that in the admin work the way they work with all the in-place editing, are really very slim in their front end version. So for us, performance is really something important. What we are working right now on is what is the next thing, because we just released this in the collaboration today. The next thing that we want to work on is the server components. So as with the React 18, we have the server components, and they are starting to be used inside libraries like Next.js in alpha mode or beta mode. So we want to be sure that you will be able to create your bricks as pure server components. And I think that most of the time you can really create components that are just server, unless you have, for example, a carousel or something that needs client JavaScript code to work, client React code. Most of the time you can create a pure static server component. What happens with the server component is that it gets rendered on the server, but you don't have the rehydration on the client. So you don't have all the React that starts again on the client, matches the content, diffuse the content, and then take control of the application. And this could be really a big improvement, because the JS bundle can be really, really small. This is the island of interactivity concept that libraries, frameworks like Astro are bringing to the market, and we will have it also with React when React server component will be fully supported, and we will be there with our bricks that support and encourage the use of server components.
Okay, well, last question, and then actually second last question, and then so can I use React Bricks but store images on a different CDN?
No, at the moment, no.
Okay.
When you upload using our image component, they get saved on our CDN, so there's no way at the moment.
Okay. So Matteo, talk a little bit about, so if there are agencies, and we have a lot of agency owners in our community, if they want to work with you with React, do you have like an agency partner program where they can refer their customers or build on top of React Bricks, and they'll get a referral commission, or build their own components as well?
Yes. We are about to release a partners page, because some agency already asked this. So, for example, Mirahi, we starting to use React Bricks, asked just this question, and we are really happy to create a partners page with all the logos and a brief description of all the agencies that work with React Bricks. So Neoscope in Germany, for example, Mirahi in the US, really with the customers all over the world. And so we will create this page very soon. So if you want to have to work with React Bricks, you start using it, you like it, you want to use it for your customers, please send me a message in our Discord server, so that I will start gathering all the logos and description, etc., so that when we will release next week the partners page, we can add you. This is surely a thing that we will do very, very soon, next week.
Okay, so guys, please check out React Bricks. It's currently on AppSumo, and so at the end of the stream, Matteo, and we try to do a giveaway, guys. So basically, I talked to Matteo, and because React Bricks is based on a tiered pricing, there wasn't possible to actually go and do create that, because they currently for the lifetime deals, and it could have caused a lot of hassle. So we are not going to, unfortunately, be able to do a giveaway for React Bricks, but Matteo has a discount code for anybody who's looking for more of a subscription plan. And the lifetime deal is still very generous. So if there are any other AppSumo coupons or things like that, you can go ahead and use it. But for the license tier and the way React Bricks is currently structured, we can't do the giveaway right now for React Bricks, but there is a discount code for the professional plan, and I can post that in the community. Matteo, what was the discount code you created?
Yes, it is SaasTribe 22. I write a message.
Yeah,
So
it's SaasTribe 2022, but that's only for the pro
22.
plan for the subscription, and I think it
SaasTribe
works.
22.
Yes, I will go ahead and post it.
Okay.
If there is a lot of because there's an LTD going on, Matteo, so most likely people are going to be interested more on the LTD side. But I'll definitely post the SaasTribe 2022 coupon for anybody who's interested in subscribing to their pro plan, and it will give you an ongoing discount until the end of the year as well, right? Like, is that until the end of, or will that discount be grandfathered?
Yes, it will be. The pro plan will be $39 instead of $99 until the end of 2022.
Okay, and what about the future development? What you are going to do? Any more React components, bricks which you add? Will they all be accessible to people who purchase the lifetime deal on AppSumo?
Yes. Of course, all the new the features will be available, and since sorry, the AppSumo plan is bound to our pro plan. For example, now that we added the collaboration feature to the pro plan, and it is available to all the AppSumo users too, because everything that we added to the pro plan will be also available to the AppSumo users. And of course, if we create new bricks in the marketplace, they will be available to anyone. And one thing that I didn't talk about is also the multi-language feature of React Bricks. Maybe I'd like to show you very, very quickly. For one thing that we didn't see, it's the playground. This is where you can see also all of your design system. So you can see all of your bricks and play with them. And then in the settings, this is where you can you have the more CMS part, where you can invite users, set permission, etc. Where you have the webhooks to rebuild your content, and you have also the languages. And let me add the Italian just to show you how this works. And as we are here, we have also the change history, so you can go back in time to the state before any action. So if one of your users deletes a page by error, you can always go back and restore the page, or go back to the content before any change. You can also self backup and restore the content, so you will get a file with all the JSON contents that you can store and you can restore later. And now if I go back to the editor, you see that now we have English and Italian, and Italian as a warning because there is no Italian translation yet. If I click, it asks me to create a translation. I can create a translation for Italian. So let's say, ciao, SaasTribe. I can save, and now this page is completely independent. For example, I can change the images for the Italian page or the props. And so you see that it's very easy to translate content using React Bricks.
Excellent. Gene has a question. Okay, is there some way to pay for more bandwidth and storage? So I think, Gene, we just talked about it. Maybe so there is a discount code which you can still subscribe to the plan, but on top of the LTD, Gene is asking if people want to add more bandwidth and storage, can they get an additional discount?
Well, at the moment, if you use our discount code, which is for the monthly plan, not for the lifetime plan, you will not have this storage and bandwidth limit. So at the moment, we don't apply any limits. If of course it is for fair use, but we don't apply limits on storage and bandwidth on our monthly plan. So if instead of buying the AppSumo plan, which has 3 tiers with different bandwidth and storage. If you use our discount code, the discount for code for SaasTribe, and you purchase the Pro plan, you will not have limits applied to your plan.
Okay, so let me just post the discount code here. Okay, so that's the discount code, guys. I mean, I can just post it here. It's SaasTribe 2022, and there won't be any if you subscribe to the plan. And what would the cost be after the subscription? After the year, would it go back to $99, or would there be any additional discount for ongoing basis for people who do subscribe? Matteo.
Well,
clarify,
yes, the discount code is until the end of this year. Then it will go back to the $90 price.
Okay.
One thing that I'd like to anticipate you is that we have in mind to create also another plan, which will probably be $49. So with a bit less pages than the Pro plan. So we will create a smaller plan for $49. So if when the discount code expires, then when the offer expires, that you will be back to the $90, you may think of downgrading to the new plan that we will create in September, that I think will be around $49.
Okay. Last question. Is there any training videos, how-to guides for somebody who's just starting?
Yeah. Yes, this is something that we are very proud of because, so let me share my screen. I show you that on the Bricks website, we have this learn section where you have the tutorial, which is the way that I think it's the best way to learn React Bricks. If I click on the tutorial, you have this tutorial with gamification. So you start the tutorial and you gain points as you proceed, and you have to answer questions. So you can answer questions and you gain points. And you see that you gain points, 85 points to prize. So there is this gamification, and so you can go on and do this tutorial. You will set up with the CLI. You will create a new brick, add texts, rich text, images, etc. You will configure sidebar props, see how to create nested bricks. So, for example, a gallery of thumbnails, so that you will have this gallery with thumbnails inside. And so this is all the project that you will create and deploy it on Vercel and on Netlify, and invite editors to the project. So if you do this tutorial that I think you can do in a couple of hours, you will have a solid notion about how React Bricks works. Then, of course, there is the full documentation, which is very, very, very complete. We really always write documentation before releasing any new feature, so it's always up to date and it's very well done. So well, you can see that you have all the props, all the example for everything. You have code examples, and it's really very, very comprehensive. And of course, there is also the API reference with reference for everything. So you will really, when you have a question, you can search, and so you see that you can search, and when you have a question, you can find it in the documentation. But the first thing is, in my opinion, to do this tutorial. And then there is also a tech workshop. If you click here, there is a lesson that I gave with and that you can you can see. And it is a workshop where together we create some bricks. So I think that it is interesting to see it. And well, then there is a product tour, but I think that now if you saw this live, you have already an idea of what Bricks does, because essentially it is a demo that we already saw today. So the best thing is do the tutorial, maybe watch the video here, and then when you are ready, dive into the documentation.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Matteo, for asking. Going through all the questions and answering all the questions. And thanks everyone for asking all those questions and giving some good feedback here. I would encourage you to go check out React Bricks. It's a little bit different, but even if you are not coding today, it's never too late to start coding. I think everybody should do it, and it can be pretty rewarding. So congratulations on developing such an innovative platform, and thanks for bringing it onto AppSumo. I hope you actually people realize how different it is in you get a good response to your campaign, right? Because AppSumo is so crowded with thousands and thousands of products, but this is really unique. So I personally enjoyed getting an overview, and I see the value in React Bricks. So I'm sure there is a lot of folks here who do see it as well. Thank you, Matteo, again, and good luck with your campaign. What's your Discord server? Can I get that Discord server, and I'll post it in the community for people to join?
Down here in the Discord server is here. Okay, let me copy the address and I put it here in the chat. Okay, you see it in the chat?
Yes, let me just go ahead and see it. Okay, oh yeah, I see it. 1 second. I will take it, and for the sake of everyone, I will just go ahead and add it here. I will post the link as well, guys, in case. But this is their this is their Discord server, so please go ahead and you're welcome to join. I'll post the link in the chat. And congratulations again, Matteo, to you and your team for developing such a fantastic product. There's a lot of potential. So wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Nilesh. Thank you all for listening to me. We'll see in the Discord server. And okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Take on the world.